Every day at Tech, students wake up, attend class, and go throughout their days, caught up in their own lives. With such a diverse population at Tech, students are unaware of certain trends that may be present on campus. Upon discussing this trend with other students, Maisha, Hayan, and Hasib realized that some other students didn't fully notice what was happening on campus. We tried to see about how many students noticed these trends and bring this issue up to those who did not notice the situation. Throughout a series of interviews, these were our findings. Hey Nolan and Katie, we're going to interview you guys about a possible situation you might have noticed happening here at Tech. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. First off, who do you think gets treated better, staff or professors?
I would say professors.
Professors.
I think staff get treated better. Wait, actually, no, change it. Professor, sorry.
Professors,
I think I'd go
okay.
with professors.
Professors too?
I think professors are usually treated better.
Professors? Okay.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
Why do you think we as students give professors more respect?
I think that because they teach us the material that we need to learn.
Well, I personally try not to treat anyone differently, but I know with other people it might be because professors tend to be more educated and they have more authority over us, and that seems to be the logic in people's reasons why they treat people differently, I guess.
Because they're the ones who determine our grades.
It's just automatic. Everybody knows professors are in a high position type thing.
So basically it's because of like their influence?
Yeah, because they have more power.
Because their job requires a background in research and education, and their jobs are just more selective and in demand compared to staff.
I think professors get more respect because we feel like staff are usually more expendable and they're doing more menial jobs in a sense. And professors usually have to work harder to reach the position that they attain.
In regards to race, do you notice anything about the staff composition?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that most of the staff are African American, while most of the faculty, like the professors, are either Caucasian or they're immigrants, Asian normally, or Hispanic.
I mean, most of my professors are white. The staff workers, most of them are African American.
Okay, have you noticed the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
They're mostly African American,
And what about the professors?
Caucasian or Asian.
Predominantly like African American and Hispanic are working the considered lesser jobs. And if you look at like the more skilled artisan jobs, they're generally Caucasian.
Yeah, I feel like the staff is more African American, whereas the professors are more Caucasian. I mean, I have some professors that are not Caucasian, but majority.
Do you feel that there's a divide in race that corresponds with the workforce at Georgia Tech?
Do you feel there's a reason for it, or like do you think there's a reason, or do you think it's just naturally that's how it happened?
I feel like it boils down to the type of education you receive at a younger age. So I think that they're given more opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, there's clearly a divide at Tech, and I don't know if that's because of, I don't know exactly why that is at Tech,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm sure race does play a part in it.
Yeah, I'm not well aware enough of Tech's hiring policies to make a definite statement on what I think about it, but I definitely noticed that for there to be this clear of a divide, I'm sure race plays something into it.
I guess coming from the area, Atlanta's primarily like race-wise also black, and I guess the opportunities don't exactly align with race that well. So
honestly, again, I've never really noticed it before, so I haven't thought too much about it, but I guess it's just something that happens.
It has to do a lot with systematic racism that's kept African Americans down in society, and especially older African Americans where they didn't have the same opportunities that everyone else had. So unfortunately, there's a huge lack of STEM African Americans in the STEM field who are older. And I think that's why there's not as many African American professors as there should be. But luckily, I think one thing Tech is doing right is that they have the diversity outreach program for more African American engineers. And hopefully in the future, this isn't as much of an issue.
Do you feel personally affected by this?
I think in a way, it's kind of sad that like most of the menial jobs are done by African American and Hispanics. But I feel like in a large way it's like out of the control of the individual. It has to do more with social economic things, and bigger forces that are hard to comprehend.
I'm not African American, so I can't really say anything that I'm personally affected, I guess. But yeah, I would much rather have more diverse staff.
Honestly, no, not really, but I guess I'll be on the lookout for it from now on.
To some extent, yeah, because if you have majority white professors, you're gonna be given that perspective more. Or like when they're like teaching the class, they're gonna be giving their perspective, and of course like it's different for every race.
Yeah, I think the same. Just the more representation, the better.
Yeah, because every person thinks differently, and what they think, they're imposed on us, and so we think the same way as they do. So I feel like if we have a diverse population of teachers, we would get viewpoints on different things.
Yeah, there's well, like my mom works here, and there's like a definite hierarchy between faculty and staff. So like faculty is professors, people who teach, and staff is people who just work here. A lot of the faculty view themselves as being better than the staff, like in the institution as a whole.
Yeah, I can see that.
Am I personally affected?
Yes.
Not really,
Okay. Why not?
because I'm not black. I don't know. I'm not really involved in either of these groups, but I guess it just contributes to this overall stereotype being formed in America of like raised accordingly to occupation or salary or class.
I think it's really important to have more African American professors because you need to be represented. You need to see that people like you can do great things, so then you can do great things too, if that makes any sense. So for me personally, I'm of Middle Eastern descent, so I see Middle Eastern people in the STEM fields who can do great things, and that makes me think, okay, I can do that too. And unfortunately, the African American community doesn't have that same privilege, and I think we as a society definitely need to change that.
How do you think that we can alleviate this situation?
One way we could do that is we could have like quotas on different
races?
Different races, yeah.
Well, since it's largely socio-economic, I think it's out of the control of smaller things. First of all, I feel like we need to fix an attitude problem. Generally, we stereotype against African Americans and Hispanics and feel like when we see African Americans, it makes sense to us that they should be doing menial jobs, which is a bad thing.
I don't think it's really dependent on us. I think it's more about the people who are applying for jobs and what kind of jobs they apply for.
I'm not sure. I'm sure there are professors that are like not white who try to get a job, but there's also the case of if they're qualified enough. Like, of course, they're going to choose the more qualified. Like I said before, it all boils down. Yeah, it all boils down to like education.
I think there needs to be more outreach, there needs to be more representation. We need to have, and I know this is small and it doesn't really like change anything on a big scale, but it kind of helps. Like there needs to be more representation in the media of African Americans being in the STEM field.
Well, I guess it starts with providing more opportunities in the poor regions in America.
Okay.
So it's like education. I guess it all starts with education, really.
Though more students than not noticed a particular issue, the question still posed as to how to alleviate the issue. The students themselves were unsure of where the problem stemmed from, but they had a few ideas that involved the possibility of creating new opportunities for other races and setting a quota for the races.
At Georgia Tech, otherness is shown in unconventional ways. In our case, otherness is demonstrated in discrimination of races. They are not deemed to fit to be part of more noticeable part of the faculty, and when compared to professors, they are not appreciated or respected, showing a divide in society. We hope to rid the idea of such ideals to be otherness and to help integrate racial diversity into both parts of the faculty at Georgia Tech.